Staff from Ministry of Agriculture, in particular staff from research. Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this evening, this afternoon's event. A very important event in terms of research development with regard to plant protection. As alluded to by the head of research, the Ministry of Agriculture's Crop Research Division had a vision for long to establish a molecular laboratory for fast and accurate diagnostic of pest and disease pathogens. This vision started back in 2018. Today we will witness the commissioning of a latest and most advanced new molecular laboratory here right at our own research station, Cornevia, adjacent to FNU. As you know, it's very important that we continue to work closely with the university, because they also create new knowledge. They also can contribute to multiplication of expertise in this area, given that they have teaching programs and there are students who would want to do postgraduate studies using this new developments, new technologies, in particular in this case, this lab. This new lab will greatly assist our ministry, researchers based at the universities, FNU, USP, University of Fiji, who are undertaking research in this area of plant protection, in conducting tests on pest and disease pathogens occurring locally instead of sending samples to long distances outside Fiji, which takes long period of time. And by then, we could have incalculable damage to our country through our crop sector. Ladies and gentlemen, a new molecular laboratory is designed to bring significant benefits for detection, identification, quantification, and successful management of plant pests and diseases by farmers and important stakeholders now into the future. It is quite timely that we have established this lab when we are now really looking at pushing our agriculture to a different level. Over the last 3 years, we have made significant progress in expanding production in real terms, as well as expanding agricultural exports in real terms. In 2020, for the first time ever, we surpassed, after feeding the entire nation, agricultural exports $100 million mark, more than sugar by 5 million. And in 2021, last year, we raised our exports further to $123 million. That's significant. And our target is that over the nine years' time, starting last year, 10 years' time, we want to have our exports reach $1 billion mark. And again, we want export growth also in real terms, volume, rather than just value. And we are looking at strategies of how we could identify what are some of the produce that we have a brand image. At the same time, we're also looking at developing products, and we're working with our partners, food processors. We also have today the CEO, our own former Director of Finance, CEO of Agro Marketing Authority here, who are mostly involved in exporting of fresh produce and chilled produce, but can also work with food processors to look at product development. Product development is an area that our own Cornevia Research Station is also working to assist potential operators in the private sector and also food processors to get into. And we have a unit here, and a very hardworking unit which has developed a number of products. And you all know how important product development is in terms of getting into the premium market, higher price, transportation, ease of storage, and dealing with the influx of produce during seasons. So it is basically, it's something that very important and critical, but it's not our core business. But we really want to encourage food processors and other organizations like PT Foods Limited, etc., to get into this area and look at how we could develop new products out of the primary produce that we are generating. So, ladies and gentlemen, this molecular lab will ensure that we have a faster, reliable, and more sensitive alternative molecular diagnostic methods to traditional immunoassays and culture techniques, allow detection of low amounts of infectious agents which can pass through the normal methodology that we're using. So we will be 100% sure that if there is anything, we are able to detect it. The Pcr technology in particular is useful for identification of fastidious pathogens, unknown pathogens, including detection of known pathogens that require lengthy culturing and bioassay techniques, the detection of multiple unrelated pathogens in a single PCR, and the identification of components of mixed infections and disease complexes. So, ladies and gentlemen, currently real-time PCR is considered gold standard method for detection of plant pathogens, as it allows high sensitivity and specificity in the detection of one or several pathogens in a single assay. Molecular methods are no longer available only to specialized centers, but also play an important role in the diagnosis of common infections seen in ambulatory practice. In the area of bacteriology, molecular methods have been applied to resistance testing, the detection of infection due to fastidious bacteria, and the more rapid detection of serious bacterial infections compared to conventional methods, and the detection of bacterial infection after antibiotics have been administered. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are quite particular and quite alert about not ensuring that we don't have any external new threats to our agriculture sector. And apart from generally what is in discourse all over, threats from climate change, then the threat that we are worried about is threats from pests and diseases, in particular the entomology side. We are opening up our border, we are an open economy, we have got quite a bit of trade going on, and in this there's quite likelihood that we can have introduction of new pests and diseases into the country. So we need to keep our guards up. And that's why it is also good to see that we have the representative of biosecurity, which is really the custodian of protection at our borders. And this is something that we really need to take it very seriously, because we are in an agro-based economy, even though our tourism sector and other sectors are also very important to the economy, but large number of households are engaged in agriculture sector, and it is because of this sometimes people don't talk about the importance of agriculture because they only look at the export side. But that has now been dealt with over the last 2 years. We are now becoming a very important export sector as well. So we cannot take any risk in introducing a deadly pathogen, a deadly pest or disease into the country, which could lead to devastation of our livestock and our crop sector. So with this, it is quite timely that we have this injection. I want to thank all the partners, development partners who have contributed to the establishment of this molecular lab here, and I want to assure that the lab will not be, there won't be a kind of caged up here. It will be open to use by researchers who are interested, as long as they are willing to share the results with us, and is available for policy making. So, ladies and gentlemen, I again want to applaud all the important stakeholders and the scientists across Fiji, and I want to take this opportunity to invite these scientists to come and work with our staff here at Cornevia, develop new tools and techniques to use in advancing and quickly dealing with testing using this lab that we have now. It is a state-of-the-art lab. To date, we have sent samples to SPCU and to Australia and New Zealand for verification. This is of course very expensive and time-consuming exercise, and now we have it here right at our doorstep. And I do hope that those who are interested in undertaking, other than our own staff, will utilize this lab to the full capacity. We don't want to establish structures and leave it as white elephants. So I do hope that we'll fully utilize this molecular learning. In thanking our development partners, I want to thank Australian Centre for International Agriculture Research, ACR, Australia, for the close collaboration with SPC and the Ministry of Agriculture and getting to this point. The Australian organisation has continuously provided support for Fiji agriculture research and development, and our relationship goes long back, and not only in this area but also in other areas of agriculture and of course other areas of Fiji's growth and development. So with this word, it gives me great pleasure to officially open this new molecular laboratory here at the Konivia Research Station, and I want to thank you, and I want to invite all the researchers to utilize this facility. Thank you very much.